easy and fun.
Now the Carrot Rewards app is ready to give you something for every healthy effort you make.
Completing a quiz.
Points that you can use for groceries, movies, even flights.
It seems like a good idea, rewarding people for their good behavior, I guess.
Yeah, sure, especially if you could turn into travel rewards and shopping, that sounds great. So if I'm going to make healthy choices already, why not then get more benefits out of it too?
The app's founders partnered with government to create Carrot Rewards,
I love tracking my points to see how many I've collected.
reducing disease burden and saving healthcare dollars.
We thought, why not harness that popularity of points? Why not use points as incentives to encourage Canadians to participate in healthier lifestyles, to answer quizzes, to find out when they can get their flu shot and where, to encourage them to go to the gym more often or buy healthy food and all those things.
This is how it works.
Let's say you pick a type of points that you enjoy collecting. After that point, the app will talk to you all the time and say, why don't you just read this healthy recipe? Or why don't you go to the gym a little more often right now? Or why don't you take a quiz about smoking or a quiz about the flu shot? And every time you do anything with this app, you'll earn more points.
By completing the flu shot quiz, I learned up-to-date information.
Information some won't see without encouragement. The question for some who study disease risk is, will healthy behaviors actually result?
We know from other health apps that exist that it tends to be people that are already interested in their health one way or another. So these are people that are more likely to perhaps make behavior changes or already are making them to begin with.
And others still say your greatest reward has nothing to do with points.
Rewards is just, you should be, working out and eating healthy. That should be your reward, not an incentive to work out even more.
The Carrot Rewards app will be available in the fall.
And as we mentioned, that app going to be available in the fall. Difficult to say whether or not it's actually going to change anybody's healthy habits.
Guys, I don't know what to say about this. There are times, obviously, when I do this work where I come across things that make me think, am I the only person in the world that thinks this is unbelievably creepy? Is every single other person on the planet so completely brainwashed that they think this is normal, this is fine, this is acceptable, this is a good thing? It blows my mind. It seems like the entire world has gone crazy. So this is a report about the Carrot Rewards app that was published on Global News a couple of years ago. Federal government's new healthy living app rewards Canadians with points. Yes, the Canadian government loves and cares about you and your health, and thus will award you points for doing healthy things like eating an apple instead of eating that slice of cake, or going for a run instead of sitting in front of the TV, or taking your flu shot. Yes, you will get good citizen points that you can then redeem for Cineplex points or, whatever. I cannot believe that this has become so normalized. So this report was originally from 2015. The Rewards app really rolled out in the past year. In British Columbia first, I believe, and Newfoundland and Labrador signed up at some point. So there are 300,000 users of this app right now in those two provinces. And the Ontarian government has just signed up. They've thrown in $1.5 million to bring their own government into line with this app. So Ontarians will soon be getting Carrot Rewards that they can redeem for Aeroplan, Petropoints, Cineplex, and more rewards. And this is crazy. This is insane. And the more that I look into this, the creepier it is, including their creepy advertisements that the BC government has run as part of their indoctrination that is, I guess, intended to make people want to use this app. Hey, it'll make me healthy and I'll get these points. But it's so creepy, right down to their little tagline about we will, manipulate your behavior or whatever it is they say. It has to be seen to be believed. So this is what I've been researching the last few days, and it's a rabbit hole and a half. So I've just written a newsletter about this. It begins, Canadian government rolls out points to reward good citizens, where I point out that this is certainly not something that is never before thought. I've talked about it many times before. I had an entire episode of my podcast talking about how this is going to be the way of the future. That was from 2010 or 2011. I've talked about the Chinese Sesame Credit social engineering experiment where they're going to get good citizen points for posting good things about the Chinese government on social media or what have you. I've talked about the Pokemon Go phenomenon and how the CIA's fingerprints were all over that and what that means, and the idea of virtual Skinner boxes and all of this. We've talked about it so many times, but to see it rolling out in my home and native land and people signing up for it and, oh, good, oh, I hope it manipulates my behavior in a good way. Well, of course, it just gets creepier and creepier the more you look into it. And this goes back to, I keep going back to this presentation. I've brought it up a few times on the podcast. If you haven't watched it yet, please do. But back in the DICE 2010 conference, you had this professor of entertainment behaviorism, or whatever his title is, at Carnegie Mellon, who gave this most disturbing presentation ever about what an average day in the life is going to look like in a few years.
You'll get up in the morning to brush your teeth, and the toothbrush can sense that you're brushing your teeth, and so, hey, good job for you. 10 points for brushing your teeth. And it can measure how long, and you're supposed to brush them for 3 minutes, and you did. Good job, you brushed your teeth for 3 minutes. And so you get a bonus for that. And hey, you brushed your teeth every day this week, another bonus. And who cares? The toothpaste company, the toothbrush company, the more you brush, the more toothpaste you use, they have a vested financial interest. You go to breakfast, there's the cornflakes. On the back, there's a little web game that you can play. While you eat, instead of reading the back, you play a game while you eat your cornflakes. And you get that, and you get 10 points just for eating the cornflakes. And then it turns out you can see your list of friends who also have cornflakes and the scores that they got because your Wi-Fi and Facebook connected and everything. And so, you get 5 bonus points because you just beat out one of your friends at the cornflakes game. So then you go and you get on the bus. The bus? Why am I taking the bus? You're taking the bus because the government has started giving out all kinds of bonus points to people who use public transportation. And you can use these points for tax incentives. And while you're sitting on the bus riding to work and you're playing your little Tetris and getting a few points here and there, you suddenly remember, I had this dream last night. I had a dream that my mother was dancing with this giant Pepsi can. And then you realize, oh yeah, the REM-tertainment system, right? Which is the thing you put in your ear and it can sense when you enter REM sleep. And then it starts putting little advertisements out there to try and influence your dreams. And then you can fill out a little form. It's a test to see if those things came through into your dreams. And if they did, then big points for you, right? And you can use these points at the grocery store.
Anyway, if you haven't seen this, please do watch it. He just keeps going on and on and on and on about how every single action in our lives are going to be gamified in this big point system, and it's happening. It's actually happening, and people aren't batting an eyelid. People aren't thinking twice about it. The government is now openly rolling out rewards app for healthy living, including, of course, taking your flu shot and all of the other nonsense, the big pharma nonsense that's going to be shoved down people's throats in regards to this. And of course, this is just the thin edge of the wedge. So this is an extremely important issue. As always, with my subscriber editorials, there is a free version here. The link is right here. You click here and you get the Steam It free version of this editorial. So please do take a look at that. And I don't know what to say. If you don't get it by now, you're never going to. And for those who aren't aware of this, please do share this information with them. It's just going to get crazier from here. And the people who are on board with this and think there's nothing untoward about the government rolling out these types of programs are probably beyond saving at this point. So this is it. This is the game for all the marbles. And this is the real tyranny. As Huxley pointed out to Orwell, it's not going to be the boot-in-the-face police state that wins out in the end. It's going to be the Soma, narco-hypnotic, amusing-yourself-to-death Neil Postman state that's going to ultimately be the real thing that will cocoon what's left of humanity in its shell while the technocratic elite merge with the machines or whatever nonsense ideas they have in the pipeline. So, welcome to the technocratic nightmare future, guys, and this is what it looks like. And I don't know what else to say. So, as always, I've got the show notes, all the links to